Hello everyone, welcome. This is part 4 on chapter 1, electric charges and field. Okay, in the last class we have discussed regarding charges and properties of charges. Uh, in the properties of charges, the most important are three basic properties of charges. Those are the charges are additive in nature, the charges are conserved in nature, and the charges are quantized in nature. These are very important topics what we have discussed in the last class. Correct? So today in this video I am going to explain about how the materials are classified. Right? So the materials are classified into three types. The first one, conductors, insulator and semiconductor. Correct? And here the semiconductor, the third part whatever is there, this semiconductor we will discuss. We have a separate chapter for that, semiconductor. Okay, so in this chapter, in the first chapter we are going to discuss about conductors and insulators. Conductors and insulators. Correct? So what are conductors then? So the conductors are the materials which allow the charges to flow through them very easily. Any material, if they are allowing the charges to flow through them very easily, they are called conductors. Example, all metals, take you any metal, aluminium, nickel, copper, zinc, any metal, gold, silver, any metal you take, all of them, they allow the charges to flow through them very easily. Correct? That's why in power cables in our home, the electric wire whatever is there, it is made up of metals, that is copper. Correct? And sometimes the power cables are made up with the aluminium. Correct? So there are all these materials which allow the charges to flow through them are called as what? Conductors. So how you can define conductors, right? So these are the materials, these are the materials which allow the charges to flow through them very easily. They are called conductors. Example, all metals. All metals means what here? All the metals, right? Aluminium, gold, silver, correct? Copper, zinc, all these, correct? Next, also water, humans, right? And etc. All these conducts the charges to flow through them. They are called conductors, correct? Now, one more is that is insulators. What are insulators? The materials which do not allow the charges to flow through them, they are called insulators, right? Like rubbers, plastic, dry wood, glass, correct? All these, ebonite, all these are what? They are insulators which do not allow the charges to flow through them. That's why on the in our homes, whatever wires we are using for fan, TV, cables, all, they are insulated by some plastic. Why? Correct? If they are not insulated, what happens? And when the current is passing through the wire, if you touch that wire without insulating, right? Just a copper wire, if you touch that, you will get a shock. Correct? No? That's why we are insulating on that a plastic, right? So when we insulate that, it doesn't allow the charges to flow, which means it protects. Correct? So that's why the insulators are which do not allow the charges to flow through them. They are called insulators. Correct? So examples, as I said, dry wood, rubber, plastic, correct? Ebonite rod, fiber, all these are what? Insulators. Then how you are going to define insulators? These are the materials. These are the materials which do not allow do not allow charges, do not allow charges to flow through them, to flow through them, through them. They are called insulators. Example for insulators: plastic, dry wood, rubber, glass, etc. So this is conductors and insulators. Now let us study why the conductors allow the charges to flow through them and why insulator does not allow the charges to flow through them. We will study this one in detail. See here, for first I will consider for conductors, and we know that conductors allow the charges to flow through them. On what mechanism, on based on what property they are allowing the charges to flow through them. Let us consider a conductor. This is a conductor which consists of millions of atoms. Correct, no? It consists of millions of atoms now. In that, I will consider some of them atoms. Only some of the atoms I will consider. And among them, I will choose one atom. You know what is one atom consists? And one atom consists the central part known as nucleus, and surrounding this nucleus there will be orbits. Correct? These are the orbits. Correct? So in the nucleus what are present? In the nucleus protons and neutrons, where protons are positively charged particle, where neutrons are electrically neutral, and negatively charged particle revolving around the nucleus in a given orbits. Correct, no? So in the first orbit 2 electrons will be there, in the second orbit 8 electrons will be there. Similarly there will be many orbits. Correct? The last orbit is called valence orbit. Correct? So in an atom the last orbit is called as what? It is called valence orbit. What it is called? Valence orbit. The electrons which present in this valence orbit, they are called valence electrons. The electrons which are present in the valence orbit, they are called valence electrons. And these valence electrons, they are very far away from nucleus. They are very far away from nucleus, hence they are loosely bounded to the nucleus, such that whenever certain amount of energy is provided to this conductors, these electrons which are present in the valence orbit, they will detach from the orbit and they start moving from one valence orbit to another valence orbit. In this condition or in this manner, the charges will flow from one position to another position on the surface of conductor. That's why the conductor allows the charges to flow through them easily. Correct? Now we'll move towards insulator. Correct? Now I'll discuss with respect to insulators. Why insulators does not allow the charges to flow through them. In the same way, I'll consider one insulating material. This is an insulating material. It also consists of many atoms. Out of them, I'll consider some atoms. Okay. So each atom consists of a central part known as nucleus and orbits. Correct? Here also electrons present, but the condition is what? In the insulator, all the electrons, almost all the electrons, correct? Almost all the electrons bounded to the nucleus very strongly. All the electrons bounded to the nucleus very strongly, such that there is no possibility of those electrons coming outside of that orbit. They never come outside of that orbit. Even though you supply a large amount of energy also, they will never come outside. Correct? Sometimes, for example, take a dry wood. Okay, you start supplying electricity for that. You start supplying some amount of energy, but the electrons will never come. Finally, once if you supply more and more amount of energy, there may be a possibility of it get fire. When it get fire, it won't conduct just what it does, it changes its state. Correct? No, it burns itself and it changes the state. It become carbon dioxide something. Correct? So it changes the state, but it never conduct the electricity. Understand? So that is the importance of this insulators. What is that? The electrons which are present in the orbits, correct, which are revolving around the nucleus, they are strongly bounded to the nucleus, hence no electrons is coming outside the nucleus. That's why there is no possibility of the electrons movement in the insulators. Understand? So this is the basic difference between the insulators and conductors. I hope you understood. And next we are moving towards the electrification. What do you mean by electrification? Electrification is the process of charging an uncharged body by adding or removing the electrons only. That is, that charging or electrification is also based on this concept only. Because in the definition I am telling that the uncharged body can be charged by adding or removing only electrons. Why not protons? Because protons are present in the nucleus and the nuclear force is the strongest force in the nature, hence the protons will never come outside. Only possibility of adding or removing is possible with the electrons only. That's why a charging of an uncharged body is possible by adding or removing the electrons only. There are three methods of electrification are there: friction, conduction and induction. Those three methods and electrification we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you.